If you're a busy faith-based professional ready to grow your marriage in less than 30 minutes a week from the comfort of your home, this video is for you. I remember the frustration. I remember the pain. Every Monday morning, as I'm here in Miami on a Monday morning today, driving off to work before the sun came up, racing to beat the traffic, working 10, 12-hour days, flying to go see different clients. And what suffered in the process? My family suffered, but more specifically, my wife suffered in the process. I've been where you are, frustrated in my marriage, not being able to communicate properly, not really learning or knowing how to love my wife well and treat her like she should, and all these challenges because of the pressure and the stress of work. I would come home late at night and I would honestly give her the leftovers, and I hated that. I hated the fact that I had to give her the leftovers because I was so exhausted. I had no energy left after working so many hours. So I understand the pain. I understand the frustration that you have in trying to build your marriage and try to really have the life of your dreams. Today in Miami, you can hear cars racing behind me and heading off to work. And maybe that's where you are today. You feel like your life is racing, and in the process, your marriage is suffering. Well, I believe you want to build the life and the marriage of your dreams. Let's face it, no one gets married to have a mediocre marriage. You didn't get married to have a mediocre marriage. So how can you move your marriage from good to great? You remember the famous book by Jim Collins, Good to Great, how good companies become great companies. Well, here's another question. How do good marriages become great marriages? Your marriage doesn't have to be bad for it to get better. And that's where our program comes into play. Listen, there are 3 essentials for you to build your marriage. Here they are. Number 1, a commitment. As a faith-based professional, you have to have a commitment to God to make your marriage work and never stop fighting and working and building your marriage. That's where it starts. Secondly, you need a commitment to your spouse. I will stay with you. I will choose to love you. I will choose to respect you until God separates us. That's an unbending, unshakable commitment that is required for your marriage to thrive. Is that clear in your marriage? Well, if not, we can help. So first, you need a commitment. Secondly, you need a coach. Why do you need a coach? You may or may not be an athlete, but why do you need a coach in your marriage? Well, consider for just a minute top athletes, top artists in their industry. They're making at times $500,000 a game or a performance or more. Why in the world would they hire a coach? They're at the top of their game. Who's going to tell them how to get better if they are already? They're at their best. They're not going to get better. Well, they can get better, and they do get better. But they don't get better by themselves. They get a coach to look at their blind spots, to point out things that no one else wants to tell them because they're so great. Listen, you need a coach in your marriage who can look you in the eye without any emotional attachment and say, you're not doing this well. I see a pattern in your life. How can you do this differently? And this coach can help stimulate new perspectives and ideas and methods to move your marriage forward. So you need a commitment, you need a coach, and thirdly, you need a course of action. You need a course of action. You need to follow a proven plan to move your marriage forward. We all do. We all need a plan. We can't just wing it in our marriage. You don't do that in your business. You don't do that in your career. Why would you do that in your marriage? Why would you just say, well, let's get married and let's see what happens? Or maybe you've been married for 10 years and say, well, let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Things should get better. Well, they don't. They really don't. You have to be intentional about growing your marriage. You have to be intentional about investing in your relationship. And to do that, you need a course, you need a plan, a course of action to move you forward. Here's what I'd like you to do. If this sounds interesting to you and to your spouse, and you're ready to start building your marriage, start moving your marriage from good to great, look down in the description here on YouTube. Scroll down, click on the link, and register for our free marriage training. This marriage training is going to walk you and your spouse through some very practical principles on how you can start making a difference in your marriage today. There's no cost or obligation of any kind. Just click on the link below, access the free webinar, make sure that you and your wife can watch it together, and then enjoy the free marriage training. So don't be shy, don't wait another minute. Click on the link below and register for the free marriage training.